Hi, my name is Ruth. I just left Venus, and I am here to share the lessons that I have learned from inner space. And today I want to talk about my favorite ways to connect with my higher self. In my previous chat, I talked a little bit about how I define the higher self. And if you haven't checked that out, I invite you to do so. So yeah, my favorite ways to connect with my higher self. And I want to start by saying meditation is the best place to start if you want to hear the messages that your higher self is trying to convey to you. But yeah, that's just a foundation. But it doesn't have to be, if sitting meditation doesn't come easy to you, or it's not fun. And I'm a big believer that the experiences that we find fun is for a reason. Like, that is God, spirit, source, the universe. Telling us to I lost my train of thought. It's telling us, hey, like, you find this fun, do more of it. So never really take that for granted. So I'll start getting into my list with that as a disclaimer, or with that as a caveat, that meditation is the common thread throughout all of these methods. One way I connect with my higher self is through dreams. I feel like I have inherited some prophetic dream ability from my mother. If you know, so African mothers, there's a meme that, like, if your mom doesn't want you to go anywhere, she's gonna start off by saying, I had a dream. In my case, it's kind of creepy, the dreams that my mom has told me about myself. This was especially back in college. Maybe I'll talk about that in the future, but I just feel like I've gotten some of that ability. The way that I like to unlock the power of my dreams is like writing down the symbols that came through, the people, the narratives. Like, what was I doing? Why was it so important that I got that cinnamon bun for that person that I haven't seen in 20 years? And like, dream journaling is imperative for this, especially when you're first starting out, so you can see common themes. Like, when I was starting, I wrote down everything in a notebook, but then I realized, like, I was too tired to find the pen in the notebook from my nightstand. So I just started to do it on my phone, like type it on my phone. I think even better for my lazy ass who doesn't like to get up from bed is to just like talk in a voice memo on my phone. But what I'm getting at here is the dream world is, who knows if the dream world is the actual reality and what we think is the waking conscious world is actually the dream world. That's up for debate. I love talking about that. But for the purposes of this chat today, I'll keep my focus a little bit narrower. So dreams, so that's like one dream, just like collecting the messages that came through. But I've noticed through like lucid dreaming, so lucid dreaming is when you know that you're dreaming, you're in the middle of a dream. And I haven't gotten to a place where I could like connect or say like, I'm going to lucid dream tonight. But I feel like when I nap, or like, yeah, if I take a nap, if I'm sleeping lightly, and the technical term is like you haven't reached REM sleep yet. I don't know, something theta, alpha waves, I don't care. But like, yeah, it's light sleep. And a lot of times when I am dozing off, sleeping, napping, I get sleep paralysis. And fortunately for me, I don't really get sleep paralysis at night, so it's a little less scary. Oh my gosh, knock on fucking wood. I want to get sleep paralysis at night tonight. But yeah, I get, when I get sleep paralysis, oh, like I know, okay, I'm dreaming. Sometimes I slip back into dreams and I'm able to control my dreams a little bit better. And if I'm really on my shit, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to know the answer to blah blah blah, like give me the answer. And it's hard because I think I read somewhere about how it's like impossible to read things in your dreams. And yeah, and I found that it's like walking through water trying to like, I don't know, it's like so hard to read something or to do something, like send a text message or something. Like my fine motor skills when I'm dreaming is just like out the window. So, but I like to think about it, like if I'm really tapped in, it's like, okay, Ruth, or higher self, like what do you want me to know? Like what is the thing that I'm supposed to know right now? And sometimes I'm able to like remember what I learned in that dream. Most of the time, no. But I'm still learning. I'm still on my journey, and yeah, dreams is just like a whole magical world that really it offers a lot of answers, and it's just fun. It's just fun. So yeah, dreams are one way that my higher self, or I like to connect with my higher self, and it's like a fun, playful way because it's like she's not giving me direct answers. It's like, you gotta work for it, bitch. Like you thought that we're gonna give it to you easy, nah. So yeah, that dreams are like one way I connect. So the next way that I connect with my higher self is self-pleasure, masturbation, choking the chicken, rubbing the clit. Yeah, self-pleasure. I discovered this way of connecting fairly recently, within like the last couple of years, and it was funny because it was during my longest dry spell ever of celibacy. It's like a year and a half. It was also the pandemic too, but no, it was mostly me. And I oscillated between voluntary celibacy and involuntary celibacy. It changed based on the day and my mood, but yeah, I got a lot of time to explore it with myself. And for me, self-pleasure became like a portal to another dimension. Ugh. So one caveat here that I want to talk about is like when I do my self-pleasure for the purposes of spiritual exploration, I don't introduce porn into it. Like I don't watch that, and this is not a judgment on that, but for what I'm trying to do during those sessions, like I don't want to introduce any like extraneous energies. It's all just like within me. It needs to like be within me. That's not to say that I don't use like a vibrator. I do use a vibrator. I think that was what took it to the next level because your fingers get tired. But yeah, self-pleasure for me, it's like one way that I use it is asking a question and then coming out with the answer. Coming out, no pun intended. I usually get my answers like on the way up, like everything, all the clouds in my mind just clear up. It's so clear. It's clarity. It's post-nut clarity. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just everything is clear. Everything feels good. And when, what I said before, when it feels good, that's a sign that you should pay attention. Yeah, the orgasm is just a powerful tool, and it lives within all of us, and it's trying to tell us things. Like, what I really pay attention to, what images like come to me, what images, what words, what sounds, smells flow to me as I'm getting up there, as I'm actually climaxing. I feel like they hold so much power, and those are also messages that I feel like my higher self is trying to convey to me in a way that really feels good. I'm so passionate about telling everybody that this exists as a form of meditation. And I don't like saying it. It's not So it's meditation to me, not necessarily manifestation. I know that there's like people out there that say like masturbate to manifest. And I don't think it's as simple as that. It's not like a transactional, like, let me masturbate in order to buy a new car, or a new car. What else do people buy? A new house, or manifest my dream man. Like, I use it like as a visualization tool. Like, what is my life on the most optimal timeline look like? Yeah. What does it look like? And I take cues from that. And it's a practice, right? You're not going to get all the answers in one session. It's over time. And also another thing I want to talk about is, like, I don't like do it every day. It's not like a routine for me. I feel like that takes the fun out of everything, routine. It's more like when I get that spurt of inspiration. Other people might call it horniness. Okay, let's call it horny. Like, when I get horny, it's like, okay, like Ruth or like my higher self wants to talk to me. And it's usually like I can track it pretty spot on with my cycle. It's like when I'm ovulating, it's when I'm most fertile, like physically, physiologically, biologically, but also like on a creative level. And those images come through to me more clearly because I'm in that elevated state because of my body. So it's a really cool feedback mechanism. And yeah, self-pleasure. I could talk about that forever. But let's move on. The next way that I like to connect with my higher self is through, I have to be careful how I word this. So I hope that you're able to decipher. I love walking with Mary and going to Mushroom Land. I haven't tried doing it at the same time, so let me just talk about those two separate experiences. Intention is everything, right? Like, you have to go into both of those experiences with the intention of, like, what do I want to learn about myself this time? Or what's this pattern that I can't seem to break? Or why am I this way? Like, certain things like that. I like just being really specific and not just being open. Have I been open before? I don't know. I think I'm a little bit scared to be like, oh, I'm open to everything that you want to show me, because I'm afraid that they're gonna like show me hell. I'm not ready for that. But yeah, intention is everything to direct the trip. And I don't think so. I have to be careful about how I word this, because I don't think my higher self lies in those things. It's just those experiences take me to a place where my higher self is more available, or I'm able to receive the messages more clearly. And the two different experiences they're very distinct, right? Like, going to Mushroom Land is more earthy. I feel more, it feels like primordial knowledge, like knowledge that has existed since the beginning of time, ancient knowledge. And I learn through like feeling experiences, whereas like walking with Mary is more like I am transported to hyperspace, or like another higher dimension where all the answers lie. It's like I'm transported to like this huge library in outer space, and it's more dissociative. I'm able to look at my life more objectively. It's more meta. I'm able to look at my brain and in a different context. So Mushroom Land is more feeling, you're in it. Walking with Mary is more objective and dissociative. But both experiences are best for me at different times in my life. Okay, another way that I love to connect with my higher self is through tarot. I think that tarot is a wonderful tool to show you the messages that you need to know it's a tool. I don't think it's my actual higher self, but it's like a tangible tool, messages that I could take away, what my higher self is trying to tell me. Tarot is just like archetypes. And archetypes have existed, if you believe, they're like within all of us. They're housed in the collective unconscious. So everybody has knowledge of all these archetypes, whether they're conscious of it or not. And tarot is those archetypes. We contain all those archetypes, but like based on how you shuffle, what cards fall out, what cards you pick, I just love that whole process of, okay, yeah, this card seems to want to talk to me today, or like how many cards that I want to pull out, which card wants to talk to me right now in this spread. So tarot is another way that I like to connect with my higher self. Another way that I love connecting with my higher self is through automatic writing or free writing, channeled writing, whatever you want to call it. But I love writing, so this comes easily to me and I love doing it. And it's just like letting the pen form words and you have no control. And I like to believe that that's my higher self. Or like other times I've channeled like other, like my grandmas who have passed on, like I've channeled them. And it's not even like I'm going to sit down and channel my grandma today. It's like a calling or a beckoning. Like it's like I feel this foreign energy in me that needs to come out. And it's like the easiest way for me to do that is through channeled writing. And I love this method, and I got it from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. She talks about doing morning pages, so writing, like free writing first thing in the morning until you fill 3 pages, and that's just like a way to dump all your creativity out and get your like creative juices flowing. And it's I love it so much, and I've started doing it for channeling. And if you're somebody who loves writing, it's great. I have a lot of Virgo energy in me, so I love control, I love editing. Everything has to be perfect. I have my journal for that. Like I have different notebooks for different things. So I have my journal where I like think about my words more. I'm able to structure it. But for free writing, I have another journal for that. So I just like scribble. Even the pen that I use is very important, because I can't be having pens that don't write smoothly. Like I like write cursive when I free write, because it's just I'm trying to capture my words before I lose them. So that is another way that I connect with my higher self. Another way that I love talking to my higher self, or okay, not talking, listening to my higher self, is through music. I love music. Music was playing, I don't know how to describe it, like during one of my awakenings or activations where I remembered something that my soul wanted me to remember or know at that moment. And yeah, it was the riff from Let It Happen by Tame Impala that was playing, and it was just like so mind-blowing. I was also walking with Mary at the time through a gummy, so it was a little bit more potent. That's a story for another time. But yeah, music just carries messages. I feel like artists that I connect with, like they're channeling from a dimension that we all existed at. Like that's the reason why we're drawn to certain artists, and like why we're not drawn to other artists. I feel like the artists that I love so much are in my soul family. And yeah, music, like the songs that I'm drawn to, they're like channeling something from a dimension that's like familiar for me. So that's why I say ecstasy when I listen to certain songs or certain sounds. And yeah, I listen to, there's 2 layers to songs, right? There's the lyrics and there's the sounds. I love lyrics. I'm like a word person. I love poetry, the different ways that you could use wordplay to convey different messages. I also love sounds, and I love production, how like different sounds can like the arrangement, the keys, chord progressions, all that shit is so important. And yeah, what sounds good to you or sounds dissonant to you is also a sign. But yeah, music is one way that I love listening to my higher self. Whether it's a song that's playing in my head that can't get out, even like songs that come up on shuffle. Oh God, it's great. I'm just like, thank you, and that's my higher self. But yeah, those are the ways, my favorite ways that I connect with my higher self. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Bye.